Been a whole lot happening in crypto in the last 24 hours. We're up 13%, sitting at 34,000. It's been a minute. Let's take a second. Give it up for Bitcoin. Give it up for Bitcoin. Now, we got some great news to talk about in this video, guys. Public funds invested $43 million into Bitcoin in a single day. That's a very significant number when we compare it on a yearly scale. And we're also looking at a prediction from a crypto ETF expert, Stuart Barton. He believes that all these ETFs could hit the market at one time based on how the SEC has behaved with these ETFs before. And lastly, is BlackRock buying more Bitcoin? Well, a recent filing is suggesting that they're going to have to in order for this ETF to begin trading. Let's start with this public funds, this $43 million in funding. Again, welcome back to DHM. My name is Wade. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Now, recent data from Pillage Capital from Bloomberg Data reveals a remarkable surge in Bitcoin investments by public funds, identifying a single day inflow of 43 million. This considerable sum represents a substantial 10% of the total year-to-date inflow in just a single day. Over the past week, the inflow reached 66 million, with the past month seeing a total of $145 million funneled into Bitcoin, bringing the year-to-date total to 428 million. The surge in inflows indicates a potential shift in traditional investment strategies with a growing emphasis on digital assets. The headlines recently makes me feel like this market has flipped. I'm not going to come out and say that we are back in a bull market. I need a little bit more confirmation. If we are above 40K by the time I finish recording this video, then yeah. I've been working on a lot of stuff, guys. You already know how it is, solo creator, but I love what I do. The Elite 8 video is coming out this week, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. I only make that list once a year, and yes, Bitcoin is at the top because I don't want you to miss Bitcoin this cycle. I missed Bitcoin last cycle, and if it's about to ramp up again, that is a roller coaster ride that you want to be on, even if you're afraid of heights. Now, let's talk about this crypto ETF prediction. Chief Investment Officer at Volatility Shares, Mr. Stuart Barton, believes the spot Bitcoin ETFs could all hit the market at one time. Judging by the recent behavior of the market and what was revealed that we're going to talk about in this video, man, let's dive in. Volatility Shares was the first to file an application for the Ether futures-based ETF. The SEC had not approved any of the previous applications, but despite this, other companies followed Volatility Shares in applying for Ether futures ETF. Now, it is in this moment where he receives his revelation that allows us to get the prediction. When we first applied, said Barton, we didn't get the first mover advantage when all applications were approved in one go. He said this is a precedent-setting event that could be replicated by the SEC in its consideration of spot Bitcoin ETFs. So what he's saying is, based on how they launched the Ether futures ETFs all at once, they could do the same thing for these Bitcoin products. And there are about 12 applications altogether from Grayscale, 21 Shares, ARK Investment, BlackRock, Bitwise, Van Eck, WisdomTree, Invesco, Galaxy, Fidelity, Valkyrie, Hashdex, Franklin Templeton. So what all of this activity around ETFs, ETPs, futures, this represents institutional interest. I want you to keep that in mind. And that's a good thing to see, because when the institutions begin to come back in, they're starting to place their bets. They're going to inflate the market. And for those who have been holding throughout this bear cycle, you're in a very good position. You've been in a very good position. All right. And again, I'm not saying that it's over. I don't want to be one of those guys, but something else too. The Ethereum ETFs and the futures really slipped under the radar, but this could have been a reason why. It was only less than $2 million traded in the first day, and poor volumes continued throughout the week. But his unique take not only comes from the experience of failing to get the first mover advantage despite being the first to apply for the ETF, but he also feels that by successfully approving all ETFs in one go, the SEC won the public litmus test without any legal challenge. Now they are likely to do it again with all of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. And you know what? That logic makes a lot of sense to me because it would make their jobs easier. Now, word is that there's a deadline. The most upcoming deadline would be January 10th. And then there are a few more whose deadlines got pushed back closer to the halving. But based on what's going on with BlackRock and what they're getting ready to do and what the market is doing right now, man, I really don't know. Always expect the unexpected. Come to understand that with crypto. Now, let's close it out here. BlackRock could seed spot Bitcoin ETF by the end of October, filing suggests. Now, what they mean when they say seed, when I explain it to you, it should get you excited. If you've been in finance, you kind of understand what's coming. According to a Bloomberg analyst, Eric Balkunis, on October 23rd, he noted that recent filing suggests that BlackRock intends to contribute seed funding at an unspecified date in October. He goes on to explain ETF seeding occurs when an entity purchases a limited amount of creation units in exchange for ETF shares. So, in this case, BlackRock would buy an amount of Bitcoin to start the fund. So if that's what's needed to start the fund, and let's just say the SEC has already given them the go-ahead, because remember, the ticker has been listed on the DTC's website as well as the NASDAQ. And this isn't like the leak from a few days ago with the intern at Cointelegraph. Now I understand why Ben always called them Cointelegraph. So hilarious. It's not like that. The DTC, NASDAQ, I don't see them making those kinds of mistakes. I do need to add this too, because BlackRock has not publicly confirmed that any such purchase is complete or underway. Furthermore, the company does not specify a price or exact date. Instead, it seems to use a placeholder field for that information. So that means that they're leaving the window open to come and update it at any time, or maybe add it after the event has already occurred. You never know. But I will say this, Larry Fink's public thoughts on Bitcoin, he's been very vocal recently. As a matter of fact, he made another public appearance this week where he talked about how he feels about the economy and where it's going overall.
Interest rates are going to remain higher. Opportunities for investors are going to be able to be very patient. You could do nothing and enjoy a positive return.
So are you expecting a hard landing or a soft landing in the United States, or you just can't project?
I don't see a problem, but I do believe the Federal Reserve is going to have to raise rates higher, which probably will mean by 25 we may have a soft, we may have a hard landing. That is the only way I see how we're going to be arresting this, but I don't expect it anytime soon. I think the power of the economy, the power of the consumer that Jamie talked about a lot, is giving me comfort that the economy is fine.
In print, he's calling Bitcoin as a gateway to equality. And when it comes to the traditional means, he's really referring to, he's looking at the economy as everything's just fine. So, you know, with the energies here, this is what I'm looking at here. BlackRock's energy getting into the space, all of this money flowing into institutional investment channels, and the market is kind of like this. I saw an interesting report where there is just as much stimulus in the economy as there was during the pandemic a few years ago through the forms of the Inflation Reduction Act and a couple more bills that I can't recall at this time. But if you look into that, Biden, Inflation Reduction Act, and there are, oh yes, the funding that is now going to go over to Israel. So there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in the economy, guys. I'm not going to get too deep into it. I'm not a financier. I'm a crypto guy, and that's what you're here for. So with that, that's all I got for you in this one. Let me know your thoughts. If you found value, hit the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Be on the lookout for the Elite 8. It is coming out this week. I am in the process of editing the video right now. That's why I didn't post yesterday. But with the recent market activity, I had to share my thoughts with you this morning. So again, have a great day. Have a prosperous day. And if that money is digital, so is the hustle. I'll see you in a minute.